What's going on with it, man? Y'all already know what it is and who it is, man. It's the masterpiece, mouthpiece, sinful to P. Speaking so fluently and eloquently, man, in a spectacular vernacular, man, called realism. One more again. And before I even begin, allow me to give you some information, just in case if you decide to have a conversation with me later on. You can just go to Instagram, put in SIN, two underscores, FUL. That's SIN, two underscores, FUL. And if you have a Facebook account, you can just go to Facebook and put in PHILL spacebar SIN spacebar FUL spacebar GILMORE. That is PHILL spacebar SIN spacebar FUL spacebar GILMORE. And only for the ladies, fellas, leave the Snapchat alone. I only communicate with the ladies on Snapchat. You can go to Snapchat and put in SINFULTHEP, sinful to P. For so ladies that like to smoke and play with their hair, shake their booty, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you like to do, you know what I'm saying? Sinful ain't got nothing but availability to get into a continuity of just looking at your fine ass, play with your hair, and smoke your little cigarettes. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, when y'all friend request me on Facebook and Instagram, immediately get into the DM of my Instagram or the inbox of my Facebook and allow me to know that you come from YouTube. So I know, everybody. I want everybody to follow me on Instagram or go to Facebook and immediately just go into the inbox and be like, hey man, I like your little videos. I fucks with you. Don't be getting in there talking about some you want to take me out to eat or take me. If you a man, do not get in my inbox talking about some you want to take me out to drink some tea or no, you know what I mean? When you do a proper introduction, you know, man, yeah, man, I like your little videos, man, man, I like the little messages that you're bringing, you know what I mean? I fucks with you saying, and when I see you, man, it's on me. That's how players do. That's how Max do. That's how pimps do. That's how street niggas do. That's how hip squares do, like myself. Like me, I'm not none of them things. I'm just a hip square. But yeah, man, it's just introduction. Like I always say, everything got to be presentable before it's acceptable. And when you come with that presentation, immediately, man, you know what I'm saying, you already looking like an abomination to me, man. I got to eradicate your ass immediately. But yeah, man, just getting directly into the message because there was questions regarding statements that I made in times past regarding any woman could be a prostitute, but it's only a few women that could be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I meant that, and a lot of you didn't comprehend what I was saying. When I said that, so I want to give some clarity and show charity at the same time. But yeah, man, anybody could be a prostitute. Let's get that in your head. Anybody can be a prostitute. Anybody can post an ad on Backpage. Basically, be a funnification, fornication, secretary for Backpage, waiting on some trick to sit up there and come to a hotel room, either waiting for an appointment or a disappointment. Any woman can do that. It really doesn't take a Harvard University education to set up an ad and get your little Bitcoins up. It really doesn't. Anybody can be a prostitute. Anybody can. You don't necessarily have to even stand on somebody's avenue or endeavor to get revenue to be classified as a prostitute. If you are willing to give up your communication, if you're willing to give up your fornication, if you're willing to perform, fellatio or have cunnilingus performed on you, either way, whether it's oral sex, anal sex, fornication, communication, going on a dinner date, or maybe you don't have currently a shelter at this particular time, and security will always be a necessity for a woman. So you might be currently homeless, and he saw that you was homeless and friendless, and he wanted to basically be your friend, and brother man was willing to spend them dividends and put a roof over your motherfucking head. And he might not be attractive. The nigga might look like a ball with no motherfucking MJG, but he got something that you in need of called currency, so you gave up that motherfucking pussy. You know what I'm saying? saying? That's how that thing go. And a woman don't have to necessarily walk down the street. She don't have to put her feet on concrete. She don't have to sit up there and go to the blade where money is being made by hoes. She don't have to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? If you are willing to basically exchange your time, your conversation, that beautiful pussy that's between your legs, if you are willing to sit up there and give washing machine, you know, some of y'all giving head, some of y'all giving washing machine. I don't know where you is with your skills, you know what I'm saying? But if you willing to give up that, basically to accumulate something, if you're giving fornication in exchange for accumulation, you are a prostitute. If you are giving up conversation in exchange for accumulation, you are a prostitute. If you're willing to set up an appointed time, whether to sell your behind or basically just to give anointed prolific words from your mind, just to sit up there for him to be seen with you so he can gain popularity and you gain, you know what I'm saying, currency, this is prostitution. For you wives that you know have been married for quite a while, and you know you're basically upset that your husband didn't purchase this for you, you know, for your birthday or for the anniversary, and you tell your husband that he cannot enter into his woman that he made a covenant with God with. He walked down aisles. He made vows. He sat up there, you know what I'm saying, and held your hand, took romantic walks through the projects. Love was the subject. He sat up there and got on some I love you to the ends of all time type shit with you. The same woman that he did all of that on that marriage day is now telling him that until he purchased this or until he does this for the children or this, don't even bother to touch me. Don't ask me to suck your dick. Don't ask me to fuck. I'm not going to ride it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to do none of that. And if you are telling your husband that, I want you to know that the spirit of prostitution is in your marriage. You might look down on prostitutes. You might try to verbally assassinate prostitutes. You might be giving them verbal crucifixions when you see them. You might sit up there and look at a prostitute, walk up and down the street and say to yourself, how could she do that? Why would she do that? Doesn't she respect herself? Where is her morals? Where is her principles? And I want you to know that that same spirit that she has, even though you are going in your vehicle, you're driving past, or maybe you was on the bus when you seen it, because, you know, a lot of y'all be making a lot of, you know, getting into some evangelism with the criticism on a bitch name, you know, for being in the game, and, you know, looking at your situation, you the one that need to change. You the one that was on the bus, and you saw her get into her S550, but a lot of y'all be having a lot of judgmental comments. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But when you drove past, you just had so much judgment coming out your mouth. You had messages filled with condemnation, and you thought that that was the wrong occupation for her to be involved in. But I'm willing to bet majority of you that are judgmental, that give, you know, all these judgmental views in the comment section and things like that like to write scrolls of what you would do and what you would not do. If you was put in a situation where you was in need, you gonna do it. You gonna do it. You're going to do it. And I'm not saying the whole population, but majority of the female population, if they're put in the right situation, they're going to exchange fornication for accumulation. You are a motherfucking prostitute. Any woman, any female can be a prostitute. That's what I meant by that. That doesn't, you don't, it's no special prerequisite. You ain't got to be cleansed in the lake, Minnetonka. You ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? If you are willing to sell your time, say things from your mind, give up your behind, whatever, you know what I mean, to collect a dime, you are a prostitute. You willing to suck and fuck on a man that you're attracted to, or you're not even attracted to. Like I said, he can look like A-ball with no motherfucking MJG. But you still sitting over there sucking his dick to the point where he got to file for sperm bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? You are a motherfucking prostitute. You might be, you know what I'm saying, on your job. And there might be a man, his stomach is coming all the way down to his knees. His motherfucking penis or dick might be shorter than a black woman's hair on the west side of Chicago. It's real short. You know what I'm saying? It might have all of this shit going on. You dig? But guess what? If you willing to suck and fuck on that man or go on a dinner date with that man so you can get a raise on your job, you just prostituted. You are a prostitute. Because if you did it once, you'll do it again. You'll do it again. If it's the right amount of currency, you will get into a continuity of doing that. You will do it again. So I've broken down, I've given a definition of a prostitute. A prostitute is anybody, female, woman. I don't even deal with guys. But, if you're willing to, either it doesn't necessarily have to be sex. If you're willing to be seen with this guy, you went somewhere, he paid you for you to go on a date with him. He's a fucking nerd. He's a chronic masturbator. He don't know how to socialize with people. He's academically successful, but when it comes to initiating conversations with people, he's lacking in those particular areas. And so he sees your attractive ass and he's attentive to your attractive appearance and he's willing, to pay you for you to make an appearance with him and be seen. And if you accept that money and it's all in exchange, basically, for him to gain popularity and for you to gain, the currency that's coming from him, you just went on a date. Because whether you know it or not, them prostitutes or hoes that you speak on, they don't suck and fuck for every dime that they get. Some of them have charismatic and magnetic personalities and know how to seduce and reduce a trick for every motherfucking dime and currency that he has. So a bitch don't have to open up her legs in order to motherfucking compel a trick to open up his bank account. The whole world is an ATM machine and the PIN number is GAME. And as long as a bitch got some GAME, she gonna GAIN. She gonna continue to gain. All right? She's a prostitute. That prostitute that you made fun of, it's like, ooh, she's sucking and fucking all of them people. You ain't even knowing. How many of you women got a young man to pay your phone bill or pay your car note or pay your mortgage and things, and you didn't even have to suck and fuck on them? Come on now. So if you got that little game and she been out there, she got way more game than you. Now, I've given you that definition, but let me break it down as far as what a hoe, because a lot of times you guys get that mixed up. You hear these rap songs, these beautiful little rap songs that got the cool little beat, and you hear a guy using the word hoe, just basically just using it because it sounds good, or maybe it rhymed with dough when he was rhyming or what have you. But I know you heard that buffoonery, people basically disrespecting that title called hoe. But no, that's a title that does not belong to every woman. Because one thing about hoes, they get paid. Hoes do not suck and fuck without getting paid. Hoes, basically, you understand me, manipulate guys that have lust, and they only date them guys that have an abundance of them green papers with dead hypocrites on it that say, "In God we trust." These are hoes. The lifestyle of pimping and hoeing. You cannot be a hoe if you don't have a pimp presiding over you. That's why it's called pimping and hoeing. See the conjunction, and hoeing. So that means that he can be a pimp. He might be able to profess to be a pimp without having a hoe. But until he gets a HOE that's doing some hoeing, he can't do no pimping. The HOE is putting the ING to his P.I.M.P. He can't do no pimping without a hoe. You can be a preacher and have the message of reconciliation and salvation that you're conveying, but until you get members in your congregation, you cannot do any preaching. You might have the gift of teaching, but until you basically have students in your classroom, you're not teaching. You're just a teacher with the gift of teaching. So it's just like pimping. A pimp can have uncommon information. He can have inspiration to transmit, impute, and deposit into a woman on a daily. But until he get a woman that's ready to be down and about it, for his instructions, complying and applying his information and instructions every day, he's not doing no pimping. He's just a pimp that's not doing no pimping. So when pimps be like, "Oh man, the hoe need me, man, I don't need her," that's contrary to the truth. Because nigga, who the fuck gonna do these dates? You gonna turn homosexual? You about to put this condom on this chick's dick? You about to suck and fuck on them? No, you're not. So you do need that hoe. And that hoe definitely needs you. So pimps need hoes and hoes need pimps. It go hand in hand. They're a necessity to one another. You cannot profess, well, you can profess, but you cannot possess that title until you do what's vital to that title. And simple, what are you saying? Until she basically allows a pimp, a man that's governed by the spirit of pimping, The man that's pimping according to the rules and regulations of the occupation called pimping and hoeing. Until she got some pimping presiding over her, and until she complying and applying to some pimping, until she following the instructions of the pimping, she's not no hoe. She's a prostitute. Now, I understand that if you had a pimp, you know what I mean, you was following directions and your director got locked up, he's currently incarcerated, or maybe he got killed, or maybe he died, and, you know, currently right now, you know, you're going through it, you know what I mean, but a lot of you try to use that for 15 and 20 years later and try to talk to pimps, get out of pocket with pimps, but, you know, when the conversation come up for you to sit up there and break yourself to pimping for talking to pimping, you want to speak about how, you know what I'm saying, your last folks got killed or he was incarcerated. Hey, check this out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to hear that. That's what's up. But yeah, if you know the pimping, you owe the pimping. If you sitting over there socializing with pimping, you know what I'm saying? You basically letting pimping know that he got action at a transaction out of you. If you don't have any hopes of dealing with a pimp, choosing up with a pimp, then you need to speak in the language of silence. That's what you need to speak in, because when you speaking to pimping, you giving him an opportunity to convey basically, you know what I mean, his doctrine of the ism. You know what I'm saying? You giving him an opportunity to basically convey his knowledge and wisdom concerning you. You might not choose, but at the same particular time, a respectable hoe would actually even pay for an interview, because even in the interview, he gave you a preview of this shit. I'm talking about pimping and hoeing right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all got the wrong definitions. A lot of you young ladies that did some dates, you think just because you went cross country and you broke this husband for this, or you broke this rich guy for this amount of money, you think that you a hoe. But until you have the pimping presiding over you, you are nothing but an attractive prostitute that's breaking clients for distributes. That's what you're doing, baby, but you're not no hoe. You know what I'm saying? You're not a hoe. People have to stop claiming titles that they don't know the definition of. People have to stop claiming titles that they're not willing to fulfill the criteria or do the things that's to meet the prerequisites in order to profess this particular title. Stop that. So, you know, like I always say, man, you know what I mean, we can't come on the football field, you know, playing basketball and expecting to be classified as football players, man. You know, you have to play according to the rules and regulations of the game. And the rules, according to the rules, little mama, if you're not sitting over there, you know what I'm saying, paying some pimping, you are not a hoe. You need to stop claiming that title. I know you little young rappers and you young thug gangster niggas, you thought that a hoe was somebody basically that was fucking and sucking on the whole community without no currency, and you thought that a promiscuous girl was a hoe. You know what I'm saying? And I know it come fluent out your mouth, you know, because it's common among the common man from the ghetto to use the word hoe for a woman who's just, you know, just out there. You know, she's rambunctious, she's outlandish, she's promiscuous and things like that. So I understand that, but just to give you the correct definition of what a hoe is, a hoe mentality is to basically fulfill every instruction that the pimpin' has given her. Period. When a hoe get up, she is endeavoring to become a greater participant so she can participate and accumulate accordingly to the rules and regulations of the game that her folks, which is the pimping, is giving her. Period. It's to please pimping, to live for pimping, you know, go through adversity for pimping, go through difficulty for pimping, be willing to even do time in a correctional facility for pimping, sit up there and seduce and reduce the world for pimping, bring back the world to pimping. Anything that the pimping desires for her to do, that's what her mentality, you know, that's just her mentality, whatever you want. She's submissive to the pimping. You know what I'm saying? When the pimping speak, you know, I'm talking about real pimps. I'm not talking about these old niggas that's professing to be a pimp and they can't even spell their name on the smartphone. Niggas sitting over there tricking off, you know what I'm saying, on bitches in strip clubs and stuff. Got a girlfriend and wife on the side, you know what I'm saying, on some husband Ken, wannabe pimpin' Ken type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about, you know, them type of niggas. You know, I'm not talking about the husband Ken, you know, which y'all know is Pimpin' Ken. I'm not talking about them type of niggas. I'm not talking about them husbands. I'm talking about real about it, stumped down, ready to be about this shit, pimping. Niggas that's living accordingly to the rules and regulations of the game. That's what I'm talking about. Not them niggas that make deals. Not them niggas that sitting up there that got favoritism in they so-called ism. Not them niggas that's willing to compromise to have the prize. I'm not talking about them male actresses. I'm not talking about them male Jezebels. I'm talking about them niggas that's really authentic and really in it. Them motherfucking pimps. Yeah, man, but just to keep it all in a nutshell, because I done gave y'all too much time, a prostitute, you know what I'm saying, is somebody that's willing to suck and fuck, you know what I'm saying, or just spend time to get her money or whatever. And a hoe is somebody that's, you know, she fucking with pimping. She chose up with pimping. She only dealing with pimping. She following the rules and regulations of pimping. You know what I'm saying? So I hope, man, I gave clarity and showed charity all at the same motherfucking time, man, and gave something, you know what I mean, to minister to your mind with, man. I hope you guys live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Look forward to my up and coming videos as well. Be blessed. One.